Bulisa is a clear example of the climate change we are talking about. They recently experienced unprecedented dry weather and unseasoned prolonged rains. These caused the lake to overflow, leaving villages flooded. The communities keep wondering what they could have done that annoyed the gods of the lake. Port Butiaba, 48 kilometers south of Bulisa district, was completely washed away. This was the main access port for the traders from the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan. More than 5,000 people were affected by the floods, many of whom are now living in camps. There are about 400 homes at Kiruhura landing site camp. Seremos Kiza, LC1, Kiruhura landing site, claims that the cause of the floods is connected to oil discovery in the Albertine region, which consequently led to the change of climate in Bulisa.
We have been going through books that where there is oil and gas, in most cases, climate change. And when floods came in, I became suspicious. The bombs that they used to hit during the discoveries, I was worried they could have cracked the earth down there. Because the way the water was coming in, it was a threat to me. And most of our buildings cracked during that time of those bombs.
Seremos is bitter. He says that the authorities talked about the advantages of oil and not its bad side, even when the climate continues to change.
During that period, the oil concerned parties used to tell us about only advantages, not disadvantages. So even the climatic change, we are getting a lot of heat. We are sweating even day and night, which used not to happen during that time before the oil and gas discovery.
Mukibazanga kikiyati hako bagia udi ganyizira kinane na mevere nyiza mwanseko baba nangise babyalire hawo kiyo kizibu kya government gyaleti kiyo gago mezikiza kutufumba nyizuka kurungi ho myaka myenyuma tolobato mwizolo gwalingo tutwa nditogere mwizolo ngolo kiyo kichanka kyo kuwana kikiyo wemelele nka kudi ati kumutanda gwa magali kudi okwajya muntu we muntu akuna kusara kwa kumwana wa mwizolo kuno rundo mwizolo kuwana kwa muntu akudi kichanga kisinkila kiendi kyonko baleti kizo kyati bakore mwana gwa fere gondi batandika kutaga ga chanka gaguo batekanga musibili batumura kyo kichanga kyo kiyese kya magali kikyo ati meziga beninga kwiza gagire dongi sigese ngele mwaranse rutindo dongi lwa kusala kubandu kangiza gali mezi hoho mezi gakola kyani geiza akoba udwa tweri kitwa hadi wako mezi gatembe kwa mugera dero gatembiri jahada ansheri ncheri he mita zikudwa isap na kento. On
the other hand, Magabo Samuel, the chairperson of the Disaster Management Committee, believes that the gods are annoyed because such calamities wouldn't befall the community unaware.
For us who have lived along the lakes, we have lived with gods of the lake. The gods of the lake have their specific respect we used to accord them. We used to have the leaders of the spirits on each landing site. They were called the Balamansi. With modernization, these people have vanished. People stopped respecting them because of religion, and yet they were mediators between the people and the gods of the lake and the sea. And wherever not only floods would befall them, including drought, lack of fish, these people would call upon the community to contribute seeds to sacrifice to the gods. And that's how the relationship was always intermediated. There is that gap now that man can no longer communicate to the gods of the lake. And therefore gods can do anything. Whereas those days, the lakes would warn you through dreams and other things. They communicate through those custodians. Now the custodians are not there.
The head teacher of Wanseko Annex School could not comprehend how water managed to submerge his school that stands 1.5 kilometers away.
The school was 1.5 kilometers from the main shower. And up to this place. So that the water, the flood moved up that distance. And the way how it came, for us, we couldn't manage it. We could not even expect it, but we found ourselves inside. For me, I was not even thinking about it because the distance was too big. But in the end, we found when ourselves were under the water has taken over.
In Bulisa, actually 4 schools have totally been submerged, and these include St. Padre Pio, which is in Wanseko Parish, Nile View, which is in Wanseko Parish, and partly Good Hope, which is also in Wanseko, because there was also a mass of water around it. With the private sector having been submerged, we're experiencing another challenge because Butiaba Infants and Butiaba Health Center were also totally submerged. Our biggest challenge is that they may not come back on board. I'm looking at an enrollment of learners of 5,429 failing to access education because of displacement by these floods.
Katuliyeyo wansi eyo jola bakatu wano tuli wagulu nga tuliyeyo wansi eyo hotel ngali wano amazi gageyongera bagamba amazi gali eyo wansi katugende kusana amazi ngatusanga amazi wasanga lero wano enkyo gasanga wali nitwebuza gana amazi gavaawa mbera wentyo nikatuka manyumba nituvayo eri nitusembera wotuka wano lero enkyo gasanga katuka gutuseeko paka nitugenda wetute paka amanyumba gona nigagwawo.
I remember where the ferry was and where we were standing. That was almost 5 to 6 kilometers. The population which was here, which have relocated from this place, is huge. We have lost a factory, fish factory. We have lost a health center with all the infrastructure. This was a hotel. There was a hotel, there were nice beaches here, but they are all in the water. People have lost a lot of money, billions of shillings.
The general number of people affected by displacement is not less than 5,000 people.
A total of 8 primary schools, 1 health center 4, and a fish factory were all submerged. What still perturbs the community is the cause of the floods. Almost left with no options, some people of Bulisa have decided to appeal to their ancestors.
Within not more than 3 months, we shall have this ordinance passed, and we want it popularized because it is a strategic way the old people used to maintain the relationship between people and the environment. And you know, even in other cultures, even in Uganda, there were mechanisms of protecting environment other than having the law in place. For us, we had sacred sites. They would tell you that forest is for spirits. But when actually they intended to preserve trees in the area, and you would leave that catchment alone, you would not tamper with it.
Kibiro, the sweet village, endowed with salt mines, locally known as salt gardens. The local communities here have for over 100 years depended on the salt gardens for a living. Women and girls here have lived on salt mining as a business for generations. With this climate change, soon or later, this business may be no more, because the recent floods saw a number of gardens washed away.
Okutandika ntikyali baisiki bato ate atandike kukola munyo ogwo ate banyina enkulu yitwe batandika kutwegesa munyo amaizi gakajula mu misiri yaitu ate batunga kwemera ate bakozere bire bino amaizi gamazire kukola gagenda gampola mpola.
The change in climate has seen a change in the seasons. The rain is sudden and unpredictable. The sun is hotter, with 40 degrees or even above. Geneva, who has lost count of her age, says that what is happening is extraordinary.
Irabuli wayabyaga munyo ogwo bunyo ogulazamu ngurara ndi biro bya bibiri bitatu bire nguwa kuko noraza munjura nego ati kandi batandika kuhara bitake ebyo tibiga ko kuba mpinduka kuba mara kuhinduka biro bimaze kabiro bisatu kabiro bina.
Climate change is a worrying thing. With its visible effects, one wonders what will happen to the livelihoods of the people that have depended on this salt for over a millennium.
Ate nkanjura bweba negwa mezi nigasirimuka mu nsozi omwo nejo sanga ijwire mu mabale ijwire mu mezi eno wakusemerere kugamba nyenki akantule enjura emazire kugwa no mara hayi wiki yona otakakoraga kandi nohuro inabuzibu bwakubota kwasire sente utakozere nobanza kandi kiora mu kusemeza kundura mabale galogeyemu ati nubotandike ekora kurungo bobuzibu nubo buli mu njura ekusinsira misiri yetu.
At the age of 5 years, Serena Baikara started processing salt. She is now 80 years and all she knows is salt processing.
Nina nyoya nyegesaga nka muntu bwabana alima bwa yoko niba mwana mutoto bamukwasa mfuka gendo olima tukwata ruonka ruli ntwijana na nyole katandika kuuma nitandika kuuma nka mbienfune ebitu tubimanyire to iro bigwaitu tukora kukulia buli na gura kagoye rundi kasukari
kuruga nkora hano guno musiri ngere kula sente zinyihamu zikunsomesa ziku bingi munifuna mu rwego kujwara mubiri bokuba gutaloti nkujwara enkaito zinkujwara byona mbire musigu mun nekindi zikujweka nabanyanya obona guno musiri gutusomeseza gutukolere bulikemo nigwo bomezi boyitu nkaito gutaloti tulo titukuya titukusoma maiso mbe ningonza kubanka nasi ninjanja abona ninjaga numukero ntujanja babukwa hano na kero ketu kino mibazi arobwire bwikane bura nibalema batagiresere neolinda bakujanja bino juyana kufa no burwaire busago nza kufa kubi buli muntaenda kale guno munyongo kora kale guli bomezi bwange baitu nkunihira maiso konda akasoma kulungi nja kufuna mulimo obanda akafuna yakunkwata mukona akansomesa mpaka mulimo ngufuna hamunyo hano ntulugaho abona ito tufunira ka chance mpaka inakwata mugenzi wa mukono nawo muyiha munyo bokuba nikuwa mukuba mukuzire ni mukoro munyo ne gubalolera mpaka nawe namkwata muno omutwala lusoza asoma.
Melan Kanyesije, at only 10 years of age, looks at salt as the only means into her future. She started processing salt at the age of 6. Salt is the only source of livelihood to her family. At her tender age, she is the breadwinner. Her mother has just given birth and therefore cannot work at the garden. The father is a fisherman but stopped going to the lake because his boat does not meet the recommended standards. Melan has to double her efforts to feed the family and to raise money for her school fees.
Musiri nkora mugwa mama wange muwike mubumbanya bize bintu kurungi nkatembya nyiyamo mitware 5 ningura obyo kulia ni temba boda ni sirimuka nezindi sigaira zentuzeyambisa abakintage ndisomera nkia ambia sente zigenda kunanga kunsusulia school fees kwena some kurungi mfoke nasi benasi ninanga ninjanja babantu nanga eirwaro
hot spring egyo nkukagirozere teyoma teyongera eikalirao kandi hot spring egyo nyo mukumanya kwange niyeretereze niye chumba munyo niyeretereze munyo guno kurubaho hot spring etaroho no munyo tuguro kandi hot spring egyo itwe enzarwa za hanu niyo tunaba ojja kwesanga wadoserulize mu kyaro muno tojja kusanga muntu wena aina biwaire bwa skin diseases tiziro amaizi agatuyamba muno nabo boine enkohoro ogendayo kuli nofuna kikopo nonywaho noba kurungi kandi n'abantu abandi abaruga aheru atali mukika rukino baruga mukichweke ebindi gabayamba bayija amalira sumuruirwe nagaruka yali kurungi muntu yayizira ali muroire nagaruka yali kurungi.
The floods did not spare oil wells either. Out of the 8, only 4 are still visible, though underwater. 2 out of 8 geothermal points were also submerged. If you have ever used Masakambara Road, then you must have seen a big charcoal and firewood market. It is called Omukagate, found in Kiruhura district. The market is directly fed with charcoal from the main cattle corridor.
Business area hempango nenku no kutunda enku no kutunda makara no kutema ebiti mbabitemo miringo ebi abari kutekateka ngo bayino bakiriyaringa za farm zawa kibire bakahora bya mutama ensiyone kwateine akenda ngo abihemu ahereza abihingi ngo bahinge bahatema makara rero base kumukiriyaringira ekishakekyo abandi naba bari kureba makara nka business niyo business ibine akabata bayine ntasiye ndiju nabo bagotya ngo bateme imiti botya ngo baze kutunda.
For many years, the main source of livelihood in these areas has been cattle and its products. Farmers in Kiruhura changed their farming systems in order to increase their productivity. They sold off their local breeds to acquire exotic ones that produce more milk and beef.
In the first place, we had the Ankore cows. We had no issues that needs money, like taking children to school, like building shops, feeding centers, and that comes into town councils, like buying cars, like building houses, as much as development. Now when we came to development, we closed from local breed to exotic breed so that we can get enough milk to get money, so that we can do our businesses as the development demands.
What they didn't know is that the exotic breeds required a clean and well-organized environment that necessitated the cutting of most of the trees, leaving thousands of hectares of land free of tree cover.
Hakarimu ebishaka bingi bishikira haiguru otari kubasa kureba nkoko ruguru mu kabungu kariya na kuriya abo kwatka kiriyaringa ebishaka abo kutunga ente zenjungu abo kwente zenjungu tiri kwenda bishaka twakiriyaringa ebishaka ensiyona yaba yatangara kuyatangara hatunyo kundu kukireba nyonkanye hatensi yatandika kuoma.
Government netushomesa ebitura okutwa kutunga sente mbwene kam farming tugambira kuti senjungu konga kikomaho hata enjungu ezo kuzishemeye kulisi mu kichweke cyitu nari munsi yitu tumu tuba kutogesa iyo umuntu tandika ko yiyayira ukora arise enjungu hata nicyo kushanya ntutema tiyona tukajimaraho ngwito ntutekateka ngo enjungu tikwenda kuturu miti.
As expected, milk and beef production increased tremendously. However, this came at a huge cost. The locals believe that the climate change they are experiencing now is a result of mass tree cutting.
We've been telling our communities to stop cutting trees because we have so many people who are burning charcoal all around. Even in this cattle corridor, it's a habit now. I think that's why the rain is going.
We came to understand it very late. And now we are coming back to our Ankore cows. We are now coming back.
Hazaho inshomesa ya government, yani inshomesa ba farmers, wija kuhinduka. nibakora ibishemerere kurekaho famu zirige insinegaruka netebekana ibindi nibabibyara ebirumunke bibi kureba umfamu yitu nibabireka mu nibareka kubitema insinegaruka nebage n'ibisharara nibareka kubihingamo insinegaruka netebekana habaho kushomesa kwa government.
In the neighboring district of Ssembabule, the situation is no better. Deforestation, unpredictable seasons, and water scarcity has become a norm.
In the past, we even used to get some seasonal rivers. Some people could predict that in October we could get such and such amount of rain. Then they do some planting, people go to their gardens, plant whatever they feel they want to plant. But this one has totally changed.
Nyoni ngira ngo nokutema mitaru kwa bantu nibatema munonge mti. Kandi kwa kutema mti tagarraho gundi. Oriyo ija yagura famu. Takutema mti yona kajezamu akaharumwe misa emyera meino konkata bakukira hatwo kushuma kwifoma mahamba. Toyinho kushanga mti.
We have destroyed the environment unknowingly because we want to graze our animals in clean farms. We resort to cutting down the natural trees, natural forest, and without replacing. So that is another economic activity that has destructed the environment indirectly without our know.
Looking at the gardens, it is evident that there is food scarcity since the majority depend on homegrown crops for food. Climate change is for real. As crops struggle to grow within the harsh weather, women and children equally struggle to look for water as much as firewood because all the trees in the area were cut for charcoal. Chiza Dick, a native of Mawokota, relocates the good moments they had.
Siye yatonyanga edda nga tukyali bato. Era ffe utwabeeranga abato enkuba yatonyanga mu bisenyo omwo nga gye mufulumye eyo ng'amazzi gajjula era nga tukkirira mu nsenyo omwo okuwuga. Wabeerangawo emiti mingi n'ebibira ebyasobolanga okusika amazzi enkuba n'esobola okutonya n'ewera. Kye ndowooza nti kati tekikyaliwo. So y'ensonga lwaki nti n'abalimi n'abalonzi ekintu ekyo kitukosezza olw'enkyukakyuka y'obudde ekyuka nga toyinza kugibala n'oyola ki n'ogiteekawo.
Konka hati kunkuja ninyetegereza obwire obutoyinaho okushenyaruko nobu wakuza nkaha hifo tubakwikiriza kuhiyaho ruko tutuyina tukwihanku kandi hati nindeeba obwire obutushikiremu umushana nigutose ebitukuhinga byona bifa nobu gwakuba guri omwana nk'ogwo hatahi gwahikana nigubasa kukwata omushana omwana gwona gufa hatahi nka sizoni yagiye tuhingire omushana kaka ebihimba byafa ebinyobwa byafa shana nko kuza kutunga no shani nko bucori empinduka hinduka yobwire nindeba hati negenda nehinduka.
For a long time, Ssembabule has been known for maize and milk production, but due to climate-related complications in the district, communities painfully seek for government's intervention for food.
See, the crop we are having here is maize. Assuming it was coffee, we would plant some trees. But you can't plant maize and a tree. So they resort cutting the tree so that they can produce what? Maize. So since we still have that crop in place, we don't think that we shall plant more trees. No.
Obutonde bw'ensaabasinga bayinza obutakitunuulira nnyo nti n'endwadde ez'ensolo, endwadde ez'ebirime, obutonde bw'ensi bwe bwonooneka era byonna endwadde ezo zeeyongera. Kati Ssembabule kumpi ffe abali mu katukolero ffenna Ssembabule, Gomba, Yantonde, kati kalusu taggwaawo. Kiruvudde ku kubeera nti obutonde bw'ensi tubukoze ki? Ebirime kasooli teyalwalanga kuliibwa biwuka kutuuka.
Whereas the solution lies in the hands of the communities, the district officials have been frustrated.
Some people, whenever the district decides to come in, the farm owners claim that they are clearing their farms because you cannot prevent somebody from clearing his own or her farm. So it has become a very big problem. It's going out of hand. I think it's high time the government should come in and protect the environment, because the way things are going, if it could continue like that, the district environment officers should be empowered to be with full powers on how to protect the environment on the ground. Other than that, we are likely to get into a lot of problems, which I feel if it's not reversed, things may go out of hand.
Local governments levy a tax on charcoal produced here. They believe that this is a step towards stopping charcoal burning. Ssembabule and Kiruhura are facing the same problems. There is a need for a system that can enforce limited charcoal burning if we are to save our environment.
We must enforce this program to stop cutting trees in all this cattle corridor. And we've been telling people, but they don't respond. Because there must be that enforcement. If you find that cutting trees, you must be arrested. If not, everything is going. Farming, plantations, water. We Israelis, because now here there is no desert. But that's where we are going.